Hello everyone, it is March 2nd and time for my February collection update. Sorry it's a day late. With me getting sick and leaving town, it kind of messed up the whole order for my video game collections, and I ended up behind with all that, so I had to sacrifice something, so this is going up a day late. Sorry. And also, if you can tell, it's actually in the same style as those video game collections. I actually really like that style, so I think these videos are going to be like this from now on. So anyway, it's time for my February collection update. There's actually a lot more than I was expecting. You'll see why shortly. But this month there's only video games and CDs, no DVDs or Blu-rays. We'll actually start with the video games and do CDs last, which is a pretty common theme if you've watched these. But to start the video games, I actually ended up at a retro game store that I haven't been to in quite a long time. I went there and I'm like, hey, I can try to pick up some games, why not? Because usually have some pretty good stuff. So I went in and I actually picked up a PSP game and two PS2 games. So first up, we actually have the PSP game. It is actually Patapon, a nice little platform puzzle game. Very weird game from the little I've played of it. All I remember is these little black creatures chanting Patapon to rhythm that you had to match the buttons to. So that's all I know. I haven't really played this game, but really cool to have because I haven't gotten a PSP game in, oh my lord, God knows how long. It's been a couple years actually, so really cool to get this. But then we actually have, with the PS2 games, we actually have Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelists of the Roses. I actually got this game because my little stepbrother played it as a kid, and when we were both younger. And I vaguely remember it. Obviously I don't. I went into the game and I don't really remember much about it. It actually had Alpha, Beta, and Gamma the Magnet Warriors in it. Unfortunately, with it being a used game, I didn't get that. Really cool to have. Believe it or not, it was actually the most expensive of these three games here. So, really cool though. Really cool to get. Then finally, I actually got a game I already have on Steam, but I have a lot of memories of it on this console, and it was cheap, so I just said screw it and bought it. It's actually Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I actually played this game on the PS2. I borrowed it from a friend, or we rented it or something. And I got significantly far into the game, but never beat it. I don't know if I'm ever honestly going to play it, but just for nostalgic purposes, I got it. There's also a map of Vice City in here. It's way too big for the camera, but I can at least show this side. Vice City. The map is relatively large for a game from that era. Pretty cool though. Really cool game. Grand Theft Auto is amazing. Moving on to a newer game, there was actually a game that came out this month that I really wanted. It is another HD game. It is Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue for the PS4, which is pretty cool. It's actually a HD remake of Dream Drop Distance, which was originally on the 3DS, so it isn't much of an HD remake. And then it's a special mini story based on Birth by Sleep called Point 2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage where you play as one of the characters. It's not really a long game. It's pretty short, this one. And I believe it takes place after Birth by Sleep. And then there's the HD cinematics from Cross Back Cover, which is a mobile game. But really cool to have this because I wanted all the HD things, plus it's got an actual something new. So really cool, can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 3. This is cool. To finish up the video game section, I was actually able to acquire another Amiibo this month. It's actually an Amiibo I already have in the box, but I've been looking for another one of them so I could open it to use it in the game it's for. It's actually Wolflink. He opens the Cave of Shadows in Twilight Princess HD, so I've been looking for another one of these, and they finally were released separately, so I had to pick one up so I could open it up. Really cool. Like, you could see a better view of him than in the other one I had, but he actually looks really good, and he's actually going to have something to do with Breath of the Wild. Oh, that's what it was. He will make Wolflink spawn and help you. That's what it is. Really cool, though. Really cool. That is it for video games. we actually move on to CDs. And then I would like to say there is something very special to end this video. Or special to me, I guess. But we will start off with some classic rock/metal stuff. We first start off with Judas Priest. This is actually one of their newer albums, Angel of Retribution. You can see me in the reflection. Hello. This CD was released in like 2004. This is one of the first albums I actually heard of Judas Priest. That's sad. My dad played it a lot, so I've wanted it for a long time. But songs I like on here, you got Judas Rising, Deal with the Devil, Revolution, Worth Fighting For, Demonizer, Wheels of Fire, Angel. A lot of these. Pretty much this whole album is actually really good. I'll have to definitely get more Judas Priest. Definitely. Really cool album. And believe it or not, this was actually part of the Spin the Wheel of CDs video. It took over a month to get here. You'll be seeing 2 more of those CDs because they all came from Britain, but we'll get to them later. We move on. We actually have some CDs here that I actually got for free because my dad bought me a bunch of CDs when I went and saw him in Texas for a couple days. We went to a concert. There'll be more on that later. And we ended up at some used CD stores, and he bought me a whole bunch of CDs. Honestly, only a couple of these I bought myself. But we'll start here with the classic rock stuff. We actually have, this is Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, the first album with Ronnie James Dio. I really wanted this. It's the only other Black Sabbath album I really want. It's definitely better than Paranoid to me, because pretty much every song on this album is really good. Heaven and Hell's great, Lady Evil, Children of the Sea, Wishing Well, all of them. And they're really good. I might buy the other album he did with them, the other major one, The Mob Rules. Maybe. I don't know yet, though. But then we go on to another band that's really popular and took me a long time to buy a CD of theirs. This is actually Metallica. This is their second album, Ride the Lightning. I actually only really want their early stuff. This is actually a re-release in a stupid slip that doesn't fold very well. It's kind of annoying. But Ride the Lightning's pretty good. For Whom the Bell Tolls. Fade to Black is still one of my favorite songs ever made. Call of Cthulhu's pretty good for an instrumental. Really good classic thrash metal. I will have to get more of their stuff at some point, but their albums aren't exactly cheap for some reason. That is it for the classic rock/metal CDs. We move on to the more modern stuff. We actually start off with the opening band for the concert I went to down in Texas. We have District 97. This is their newest album, In Vault. It's actually autographed by the whole band. They were sitting at their booth during the concert, and at the end of the whole concert, I went over there and asked what CD I should buy, and my dad bought me this one. Believe it or not, this band it's a progressive rock band, and the singer, she was actually on American Idol in 2007. Leslie Hunt, look her up. Good CD though. Songs on here I like, Snow Country, Handlebars, A Lottery, All's Well That Ends Well, Takeover, Learn From Danny is really good. Interesting album. I'll definitely have to check more of these guys out. Definitely. Next up, we actually have the band that District 97 replaced. Originally, this band was supposed to play in the concert, but I guess they backed out at some point. That being Oceans of Slumber. This is their second and most recent album, Winter. I really like the cover. This band is really weird to explain because it's like a doom metal band with death growls, but there's also this like clean singer that sings, and it's got some progressive rock influences and stuff. But there's some really good songs on here. Devout, Nights in White Satin, which is actually a cover, Lullaby, Suffer the Last Bridge, Sunlight. Yeah, really cool CD. It's not that great, and my dad told me to get this one, so I actually bought this one myself. But he told me not to buy the first one because it's all death growls, so this is all I'll probably get for this band, in all seriousness. So, unless they release a new one, maybe. I don't know. Then we actually go on to a CD my dad just gave me because he bought some CDs from this band. It's actually Need. You haven't heard from this band in a while because I only have Orvom, and I got it years ago. This is actually their second album, Siamese God. My dad got this CD for free because he pre-ordered their newest album and also got a copy of the first CD, which is really hard to find. He gave me this. It's alright. It's not as good as Orvom, but it's got some okay songs. Soon, Lie Before You Sleep, Flesh Machines, CMR, The Lesson. There are some random death growls in this, so it's not that good to me, but when the guy actually sings, he sounds really good. The cover looks pretty cool too. But this is basically, this CD is one of those anti-religion CDs, basically saying how stupid and ridiculous organized religion is. So I'm not exactly atheist. I'm not religious though. So it's a pretty cool CD. Not the best one I've ever heard though. Then we actually go on to a band I didn't plan on buying a CD for anytime soon, but I saw it and I was like, why not? My dad's paying for it. That's mean, but it's true. So I ended up grabbing it. It's actually the newest Xandria, which you haven't heard from in a long time either. Theater of Dimensions. This is their brand new one that came out in January. Funnily enough, since I've gotten the other CD I have, they have switched singers. They've actually had 3 singers. Their new singer sounds great. She can go operatic like Nightwish, but she sounds really good when she actually sings. This album actually really surprised me. It's a really, really good CD. Definitely, I think I like it better than Ravenheart. But let's see, songs I like. It's got all like 13, 15 songs. Where the Heart Is Mine, Death to the Holy, Forsaken Love, Call of Destiny, We Are Murderers, We All, Ship of Doom, Sealy, Song for Sorrow and War Burn Me, Queen of Hearts Reborn, and A Theater of Dimensions, which is 15 minutes long. Really cool. And this is actually a 2-disc version, which has some acoustic stuff on the second disc. This CD actually has some guests on it. It's got the lead singer for Soilwork, lead singer for Mirath, which is crazy, and then the lead singer for Firewind, a pretty big power metal band. Really, really good CD. I would suggest this one if you like power metal. It's really, really good. Then we actually go on to a band that plays Wacken this year, and it's a band I've been meaning to check out because I've heard really good things about it. My dad got me this one too. It's actually Powerwolf. This is their newest album, Blessed and Possessed. This album was really good. It does sound a lot like Sabaton, like my dad said. Songs I like, we got Blessed and Possessed, Dead Until Dark, Army of the Night, Armata Strigoi, We Are the Wild, Higher Than Heaven, Christ in Combat, Let There Be Night. Yeah, it's a really good CD. I need to check more of these guys out. Unfortunately, a lot of their older stuff is harder to find, even though they've only been around since like 2008. I'm going to have to try to figure out how to get their older stuff. Still really cool. Definitely worth a check out because they're apparently a really big power metal band right now. Then we go on to 2 CDs I actually got myself and were from the Spin the Wheel of CDs video. These took forever to get here. This first one here took a really long time, like almost like a month and a half. It was ridiculous. It's actually Anathema, and this is one of their older, I want to say, it's from 99, but older to me, albums, Judgment. It's where they first started incorporating the prog rock sound, definitely. This album actually really surprised me. I thought it was really good. After listening to We're Here Because We're Here, I wasn't all that impressed. I mean, I really liked Weather Systems and Falling Satellites. It's actually Distant Satellites, sorry. But this is definitely a really good CD. Deep, Forgotten Hopes, Destiny is Dead, Make It Right, One Last Goodbye is beautiful. Parasine, Moonlight, Judgment, Wings of God, Anyone, Anywhere. Yeah, really good CD. Surprised the heck out of me. Really, really great, though. Really, really great CD. Definitely check these guys out if you're into prog rock. They're musically gifted. Then we go on to another CD I spun the wheel for that took a little while to get here. This is After Forever. This is their last album, self-titled. This is actually the last album this band ever made. They broke up, and then the lead singer formed another band that then broke up after she joined Nightwish. This CD's pretty good. It's another one of them random power metal with death growls. There's some good songs on here, though. Discord, Evoke, Transitory, Energize Me is good. Equally Destructive, Cry with a Smile, Dream Flight, yeah, really good. It's Floor Jansen from Nightwish. This is her first band. Really good. I will definitely check more of these guys out. I'm glad I finally got around to getting one of these CDs. And then the last CD, we actually have another one my dad got me, and it was something I didn't think I'd find in a CD store. It's actually Devin Townsend. This is before the Devin Townsend project. This is the Devin Townsend Band, the last album before he broke the band up. It's actually pretty much all of the Devin Townsend project. This is Synkestra, if I didn't already say. I actually spun the first CD, Accelerated Evolution, on the Spin the Wheel, and I ended up not getting it, so it's pretty cool I ended up finding this. But Let It Roll's pretty good, Triumph, Vampira is a weird song, Gaia Pixelate's good. Yeah, there's some pretty good CDs. Not all that great. I still think probably Transcendence and Epicloud and Sky Blue are better than this, but still really cool to have. As you can see, there's some cracks on it here. It actually came that way. When I found it in the store, sealed in plastic, it had the cracks already, so I had to deal with that. But still, really cool. Great CD. Really, really cool. But that's it for the CDs. I actually want to show you guys something really special here. It's a CD I already have, but there's something special about it. The concert I went to Texas for was Pain of Salvation, because it was the closest they came to the West Coast. And my dad actually did something absolutely incredible for me. He got the meet and greet tickets, so I was actually able to meet the whole band and talk to them for a little bit. And I was actually able to get them to autograph my favorite album, Remedy Lane. This is my #1 album of all time. Unfortunately, the drummer and the bassist, you could barely see their autographs. The pen they used was kind of dying. This is the keyboardist. And then you got Ragnar, who signs in the most unique way I've ever seen. And then this autograph right here is Daniel Gildenlow's, the brains behind the whole thing. And yeah, this, I got to talk to them, and they did some songs from this album, and you know, I'm completely obsessed with the new album now, because the title track from that album is probably the best song he's ever written. And I love Remedy Lane, but I honestly believe that might top anything from Remedy Lane. In all seriousness, I can't believe I'm saying that because of how much I love this album. But it's absolutely awesome to finally have this I don't know, I can't really put into words. Like, I have it autographed. My favorite album autographed. It's not the band that performed this album originally, other than Daniel. Basically everybody has left since then, whether it be his ego or them wanting to leave. He's not an egotistical person. He's actually really chill. A lot of people think, oh, he's a hard ass and he's really, really smart, so he must be kind of a jerk. He's not. He's actually really humble and was really pleasant, and I can actually show you something here. I actually have this picture with him that he willingly took, and then this picture with the whole band where he's holding up the devil horns that he decided on his own. Really chill guy. Really cool. But I can't believe I have my favorite album autographed. It's awesome. Absolutely incredible. But that is it for my collection update. I will see you guys next month. I already got some new games and some other stuff. And then there's something special that's coming out in a couple days here, actually, that I'm hoping to get. I mean, I at least got the launch game for it. If you haven't already caught on, it's the Switch. The Switch comes out. I haven't been able to pre-order the Switch anywhere because they all sold out around here. I'm hoping I can get one somewhere. I did pre-order Zelda and some of the Amiibos, so those will be there at least. It'll be funny if I do a collection update and there's no Switch, but I have a game. It'll be like the Genesis that I have the game for without having the console. But anyway, I will see you at the beginning of April for the March collection update later.